introvert ever. I am the only person whose father encouraged her to talk to strangers. And when he used to do that, he probably sensed I needed to practice, but I would cry. I was that shy and afraid to get out there and talk to people. So it amazes me that I've created a speaking and sales career, because shy and introversion doesn't exactly say that I want to go out there and meet people and shake hands, but I do love what I do. So you probably already know these things. What you may not know about me is how Table Topics saved my bacon. Would you like to hear more about that?
Yes.
All right. There I was. I can remember this as if it were yesterday. I was at a meeting that I was not even supposed to be at. And now I was called in to address a crowd of 200 sales professionals, senior leadership, vice president. Everybody was there. I was so exposed, there might as well have been a spotlight beaming down on me. It was really scary. But we're going to come back to that meeting in a minute. Has anybody here ever been bullied? Yeah. Well, I have too. And I have to tell you, this was the ugliest type of bullying, because it was happening at work. I was a grown-up. You're not supposed to be bullied when you're a grown-up. It's not supposed to be happening on the job, but it was. And here's what happened. I was the new sales training specialist, and this woman, April, who had my job, helped me get hired. She helped me get in the company. She helped me get the job. She didn't even want the job. Once I got it, she turned on me. So it was doubly awkward because I had to report my activities up through her. And one of her ways to get at me was to withhold information. Get the picture? So one afternoon, I'm out with the sales reps, and she asked me, well, are you going to the big meeting tomorrow? I mean, they're going to be talking about the merger. They're going to be talking about sales and training. You know, what, are you excited? And I said, what meeting? What are you talking about? I don't know about any meeting. Well, I went back to my director and I said, this sounds really important, so I'm going to cover my assets, and I would like for you to authorize me to go to this meeting. And she said, oh, you have to be there. Don't worry about April. So I said, okay. So, tip number 1, and you'll see you have a handout there so you can take some notes if you'd like to. Tip number 1, never, please, ever shy away from an opportunity to speak at Toastmasters. I don't care how scared you are. You got to come up here, plant those feet, project that voice, and get your message out there, because the day will come, it is not if, it is when it's going to be a very high-stakes situation, and you are going to have to perform at a moment's notice. Trust me when I tell you that day will come. And you want to be ready. You want to feel comfortable and confident. Practice here. It's a safe place. You make a mistake, so what? Make that mistake an opportunity. Use it to get better. So let's go back to the meeting, all right? We're in that auditorium. I'd like you to imagine this. The room is so full. You can feel the activity and the energy, buzzing, merger. What's going to happen? There were so many people that the company had to rent an auditorium to make everybody fit in there. So I'm up there in the nosebleed section. I'm just another face in the crowd. No problem. The senior leader started talking about the sales training initiatives, and as he was talking, I was frowning. I said, wait a minute, that's not right. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what's happening. I don't think that's accurate. And what happened next changed my entire career and my life. I heard the consultant say, well, that's not exactly what's happening with sales training. As a matter of fact, is Casey Carpenter here? Casey is the new sales training specialist. Let's get her up here. Let's get her to the microphone. Are you kidding me? Exactly. So what? I don't even know these people. I was terrified. Now, again, big auditorium, over 200 people there. In order to be heard, you had to go to one of 2 microphones that were in the center of the auditorium. So there was no way that I could get out of it. So again, I'm up at the top, nosebleeds there, and he's scanning the house. Once again, let's get Casey Carpenter a microphone. Come on, Casey. So I get up. My legs are like rubber. And I'm walking down these steps, and I could see April sitting in the front row. It was like somebody took a magnifying glass, and her face was looming up at me. And I got to tell you, here's what I thought. If I mess up, she's going to witness it, she's going to see it, and then so is everybody else. And I can't afford to make a mistake like that. I had to nail that like Gabby Douglas, the Olympics young lady, the way she nails a handstand. So I had to do it. This is what I did, and see what you notice about my format. I got there, so I made it. I finally got to the middle, and I swore that my voice was shaking. I was later told that it was not. I said, "Good afternoon. You may not all have met me, but I am Casey Carpenter. I'm your dedicated sales and marketing training specialist. The question was about sales training with respect to the merger. Is that correct?" And they said, and I could feel people kind of, "Oh, what's this?" There was interest. So I said, well, in phase 1, the Manhattan sales team is partnering with underwriting in Long Island, and they're going to learn the products. Phase 2, we're going to do the reverse, so that the Long Island team is going to do the same. And then in phase 3, we're going to bring everybody together, and we're going to have some special events around sales and underwriting. We are so excited about this initiative, and we anticipate it's going to take 6 months to roll everything out completely. Are there any further questions of me? By then I was like, okay, I think I got this. So no one said anything. There was a hush. And then it just exploded. They were like, wow. The consultant runs out and he's going, great off the cuff, Case. Wow. And they're clapping. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I get back to my seat and people are touching me. I mean, it was unbelievable. As if I were Jennifer Lopez and I just did a split on stage or something. It was crazy. So let's deconstruct quickly what I did. First of all, be able to think on your feet. If you know your job, bring that out so that when you're in high-stakes situations, again, it's not if this will happen, but when. So restate the question, break it down into 3s the way I did, and reframe what you do in a novel way. Maybe use words to describe it that people haven't been using. So it makes you sound really compelling, captivating, interesting. So back to work. Here's what happened. By the next day, word had gotten around that I had made a presentation. What presentation? It was a 30-second answer to a question. But again, if people aren't used to hearing information delivered in a certain way, you look like a star. And you are all stars. So I got a call from a vice president. Come to my meeting. I got a call from advertising. We want you to speak. There was no way that April could ever mess with me again because I had made a name for myself. They say in sales, this is tip number 3, they say ABC, right? Always be, what's the C? Closing. I say ABR. Always be ready. Be ready to think on your feet. And being ready was really my unfair advantage that day because if you think about it, I outperformed a senior vice president. I was able to state what we were doing and the value in a compelling way. So you can do this too and start to really distinguish yourself as an active contributor on your team. So how many of you are finding this helpful? Is this helpful information? Yeah. Terrific. Throughout my entire career and for what I'm doing now in my own business, I use Toastmasters in my ability to speak, to differentiate myself. So quickly, what techniques did you notice that I did tonight? Quick, I'm getting a red card. Voice, what else? Story, anything else?
Story and animation.
Body movement. Did I change the environment a little bit?
You did.
I brought flowers. Yeah. Was this interactive? Yeah. Yes. Can you do this? Yeah. Yes. Okay. Excellent. I'd like to give you a free gift. So one thing I want to say, and we've had a sales theme tonight, life is one continuous sales call. You are always selling yourself. You are always being evaluated. So if you would like to present yourself to your best advantage, why should your colleagues get all the good projects? Why should your business go to the competition? So if this interests you, go to my URL, salescall911.com. Download my free report. It is called 3 Critical Sales Calls Mistakes You Don't Know You're Making and How to Fix Them. So I hope to see you all at District on May 30th. Come out and give me some love. We have a few quick minutes for Q&A. Ask me anything you'd like to about Toastmasters, how I use it, whatever. I'm here for you. Yes?
Where's the event on May 30th? Where's that being held?
It's in Woodbridge at one of the big hotels.
Is that on your website? Or?
It is not. It's actually on the Toastmasters website.
Okay.
So and it was in a recent newsletter that just came out this week, so we'll get that information out to you. What else? What else? Vic, yes?
Before the speech at the conference, had you ever spoken before a group like that in your past history?
Oh my goodness. Not quite a group of people who are interested in personal development per se, but more trainings at work, which is it's a little bit different when you're doing something at work. But either way, I certainly enjoy either one. Yeah.
How did tabletops help you? I'm new, so I'm
Yes.
not exactly
Okay.
sure.
Really great question. Table topics are a part of a Toastmasters meeting where it is a complete, off-the-cuff, impromptu exercise in helping you speak better. Usually the way it works is someone will throw out a question, call you up, and you're asked to respond. And just think on your feet. What is it? What is it? So what happened to me was like a big table topics activity that day. I didn't expect to be called up to that microphone like that. But had I not had that Toastmasters training, I might have fumbled my words. And for all of you here who do this, you're used to it. But for people who don't see that, I look like a rock star. I'm just me. I'm not a rock star. But for them, they're like, wow, she's so poised. Did you know they were going to do this? Did you know what to say? And I said, no. But when you train yourself and you train your technique and you work on yourself and really, is it going to the gym? You get really good at this stuff. What else?
What are the characteristics of being an introvert? How has that helped you in the sales process?
How has being an introvert helped me in the sales process? I would like to think that being an introvert makes me introspective and I listen more than I talk. And when we sell, it is so important to solicit the other person's perspective and ask a lot of questions to uncover what is going on with them. What is their issue, pain? What can I do to help? So for me, I'm more interested in them than talking. Sometimes we hijack everything because we're so excited and we're talking. They should be talking 80%. We should be listening the rest of the time. We have time for one more?
I have one question.
Okay.
You made it up to the district level in competition.
Yes, I did.
I'm very interested in that. How did it go, and then were you unsuccessful at the district level?
Well, that was a really interesting contest, and I can't really remember what the theme was. Maybe one of you remembers who was there. I gave an inspirational talk about why New Year's resolutions don't work and how it's important to really live every day as though you're executing on your promise and your resolution. Well, I was so animated that I jumped up and down and my microphone crashed to the floor. So that was a little unnerving. And the timer was still going. They can't stop the timer just because your mic falls off. So I had to stop, wait, and be re-mic'd. So that threw me off a little bit, but not a lot. Truth was, my performance wasn't as good as some of the other people's, and that's okay. I prepared for that for 6 months. Now, the person, I believe, who won, I do see him regularly now, and he told a hysterical fall-off-your-chair story about becoming a clown. And how he had to go to his dad and say, Dad, I'm stopping my career of X, whatever it was, and I'm going to be going to clown school. And I mean, the whole place just erupted in laughter. It was hysterical. It was a really good experience for me. I was terrified, but to be that scared and to still go out there and perform to your best, hey, that's what this is all about. So that's pretty much what happened there. All right, are we all done?
Can I ask you one quick question? Are you nervous now or no?
No.
Okay.
No. Even though the adrenaline, I can feel adrenaline, because for me, as an introvert, this feels like a performance. My legs are shaking, but I'm not nervous.
Okay.
So there's definitely a difference. What else? Well, thank you so much. It really has been my pleasure to be here with you all. I pray that what I had can definitely help you improve. Call me anytime, all right? That's what this is about. It's for me to be